How did I start in ASTI? I was actually hired almost straight out of college. This was back in 1989. That was the year that ASTI also started, and we were among the first hires of the agency, together with some other friends that were graduates of the electrical engineering class of 1989. The agency was newly formed, and we were part of the graduating class of the electrical engineering in that year. The previous summer, I was a student intern in an agency called the Industrial Technology Development Institute, also of the DOST, and I liked the experience. And when I saw the ad about a new agency under the DOST, and it was named Advanced Science and Technology Institute, I was attracted to it because I thought it would be a good place where I could use the things I learned in college and create or be inventive, and also contribute to the vision of the DOST to apply science and technology for development in the country. So I started from the bottom as a science research specialist one, and then rose from the ranks until I was appointed as director of the agency. Yeah, when I was appointed director of ASTI, I had already been with ASTI, I think, for more than 15 years. And before I was actually appointed as director, I had been the officer in charge and deputy director of the agency. So I thought it was important to just maintain continuity and provide some focus, but at the same time try to align the agency to the mission and vision of the Department of Science and Technology. And so there were several things that we were looking at. One was staff welfare and development. The other was institutional development. And then how the agency could be relevant in terms of the overall vision of the department in applying science and technology for national development and also generating new knowledge. So challenges. The main one was, how could we grow ASTI in terms of resources, and that also included, elevating the role of ASTI and its prominence within the whole department and within the government, and trying to align it so that it could be made relevant to the programs of the national government. We tried to focus, and during that time we coined this term ICT for, I think, the 4 E's, and these were in the areas of education. So we had effort to connect, provide science infrastructure, including the PREGINET, providing connectivity for the universities as an environment to support research and development, enterprise development, and this was in the area of supporting the growth of more technology-based startups. And in the environment, so we had this program on applying ICT to improve disaster early warning, and then finally on e-government, and these were in areas such as how ICT could improve healthcare or deliver government services and so on. I think I spent a major part of my life in this agency. I recall we were going to Katipunan before Katipunan had its present traffic greenhouse, which was the barbecue place behind the library, UP Library, and then going to Rodix in the shopping center, or just having meals inside the office together with all of the other staff. And this was time for bonding. As I said, when I joined ASTI, we were among the first staff, and so a lot of the original people, we grew up with this agency. And other, well, simple stuff, no, like the socials, Christmas parties. There was this period when we were trying to get all of the staff to bond, because well, before that, the feeling was people were sort of just focusing on their project teams, and we thought it would be a good thing just to provide venues so that we could socialize and build more camaraderie and understanding, as a way to also have some interactions on and a place to share ideas. Of course, this was also the place where I met my only ex-girlfriend. Ex because we're now married. We would stay quite late or even overnight, just doing design and development, or staying in the lab together with some of the other engineers at that time. And then, of course, helping to develop or coach or mentor student interns during the summer, passing on what I knew.
I started in ASTI in March 2016, so almost 2 years ago. Prior to that, I was a professor at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, in the Electrical and Electronics Engineering Institute. So I am actually the acting director of ASTI on secondment from UP Diliman. Well, I joined ASTI because, frankly, I was also looking for a new challenge. Coming from the university as a professor, you tend to deal more with students and teaching courses, but leading a research institution is really a bigger challenge. And as part of my training as a researcher and as an academic, the quest to continue learning is very strong, and to meet new people who can help push for more research in the country. So I decided to move to ASTI because I believe it offered a really good match in terms of what I was doing in the university and what this organization was currently doing in ICT and electronics. And I figured that maybe I can contribute something more to the already major accomplishments of the organization. Our vision for ASTI is for it to be at the forefront of R&D in ICT and microelectronics, not just in the Philippines, but of course regionally. We want ASTI to be able to compete in the global stage. To that end, we really need to think about the research themes that we focus on, and we need to organize ourselves into teams where we can support the researchers to be more productive. In the 2 years since I've been here, we have tried to start several initiatives in the research front that involve more industry-facing activities. I think ASTI, as a research and development institute in ICT and electronics, can really play a big role and should play a big role in terms of enabling our local electronics and ICT industries to be more competitive. If we look around our research institutes, we try to identify one group that faces industry in the way that, say, for example, ITRI in Taiwan faces their semiconductor and electronics industry. In some respect, we want ASTI to play that kind of role for our local industry. So, as you know, we manage the Electronic Products Development Center, or EPDC. We also want to pivot that so that it can be more in touch with industry and can be more responsive to their needs. So to that end, we have partnered with the local Electronics Industries Association of the Philippines, or IAPI, to help in that management of the facility And that will in turn enable ASTI to focus more on the product development and R&D side, this is an important component of that facility. We also, because we run a network and we also run a computing facility, and we have deployed over 1,700 weather sensing devices all over the country. More than that infrastructure, what that really means is data. We have in our hands tremendous amount of data that can be transformed into information. So we really want to move in the direction of going beyond infrastructure, but also creating value on top of the infrastructure. And that is in the form of data analytics and even doing some machine learning and artificial intelligence on the data that we have. So ASTI is playing its role in terms of creating big data for the Philippines. We cannot talk about machine learning and AI if there is no data in the first place that machines can learn from. So there are so many applications that can be enabled by all of this information that is available to us. The challenge for ASTI in that what we're facing and that we're trying to address head on right now is to transform ourselves from this infrastructure, but also to creating value on top of the infrastructure. And one way to do that is really to pay attention to data and information that is created. My memories of ASTI extend, I guess, go way back, before I was director of this institute. Back to the day when I never thought perhaps that I would be director of this institute. I was, I guess because I was a student in electrical engineering and our laboratories were just one floor, one floor below ASTI then, which was at the National Engineering Center. So I always go up to ASTI because, frankly, you had the better laboratories then. You had better computers, and also you had the more comfortable couches. So kung mag-overnight, you can count on one of ASTI's couches or one of ASTI's comfortable, cozy, air-conditioned corners na pwede ka doon maki-overnight. Right? And I met a lot of people that way, yung mga kasama mo overnight. So that was a different time. I guess it was a time where we considered ourselves parang pioneers. I guess we consider ourselves pioneering now. We can of course still do that. But at that time, we were a young organization and we were very bold, adventurous, and we were really extending ourselves beyond normal hours and applying ourselves to the problems and challenges that we were facing then. So maraming kwento nun, pati yung mga naririnig natin sa gabi pag nag-overnight, and I think marami ring ghost stories nun sa NEC. Pareho kaming napatingin doon sa wall, feeling na dalawa kami, meron dumaan through the wall. So coincidence ba yun? But both of us saw it, so it must have been something. So that was really, I guess, as a young student, we had all of those memories, and it was really fun, I guess, that time.